3, 2, 1. Welcome to the 225 podcast with your host, Noah Ray, Andrew Cargill, and me, Matthew Albazotti.
Nice.
Got a little more energy today. Yeah.
I'm tired today. I'm ready for an energy drink. We've heard a lot about
Yeah.
So
You wanted to jump right into it.
We're saying kind of explain what energy drink we got. And shout out who gave it to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Alex gave it to us.
Thank you, Alex.
The first time someone's given us this
Yeah.
is steps for us, right? I think this is growth.
Dude,
I was
technically growth.
I was pretty like, okay, we got free drinks. I will say, we only have two, but mind you, they are extremely expensive and really hard to get.
Yeah.
So we're appreciative of all of it.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
This is an energy drink. Wow, I just had this. This energy drink is pretty exciting. I think it's a company we've all known. Like for me, when I first got into fitness, and I throw back to episode 1, like there was like 4 people I watched on YouTube, like Jeff Nippard, More Plates, More Dates, and like Gorilla Mind. Right, that was the first pre-workout I bought.
I was one of like the
Really?
big brands.
Oh, the first one? I
Yeah,
love
and
Grandma.
I
I think it's one of the best.
I've never used them.
bodybuilder pre-workouts.
Yeah.
I agree, and I hid it from my parents too.
Wow.
Yeah, because I like my parents are cool with creatine, but pre-workout and like protein drinks they were like weird with.
To see us now.
Right. Only if they saw us
I
now.
don't want to see the pantry.
And then I mean that pre-workout was crazy. I used to love taking that.
Yeah.
Only
Only thing, no beta alanine. That's what. That's
Really?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it makes you
The
so.
one thing I
took
didn't love about it is you needed 2 scoops for it to be efficacious.
I hate those. I hate 2
For
scoopers.
caffeine and stuff, yeah, but a lot of the pump stuff is worse scoop.
I double scoop every time. So anyway, enough teasing. We've got the Gorilla Mind Orange Rush Energy Drink.
I don't know if this is gonna be like a Sunny D type deal. Okay, so I gotta do the
Okay,
can.
that's
So
wrong.
everyone knows me. I like to look at the cans. I will say
So I'll read.
this production, there is a lot of bubbles underneath the.
So it is a brand new energy drink. This is probably the first.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's why I'm giving it a little bit of leniency. But like,
Come on.
even on my can, some of the lines aren't straight. A lot of them are bent. The can does feel nice in your hand. It's not a 12-ounce can, which I like.
It cools.
I do think I do
Yeah.
like the logo. I don't know. I think the Girl of Mine logo in and of itself is kind of outdated. Maybe a hot take, but I don't
I agree.
think like it doesn't look that cool. I think,
I
the
think they
orange
could do better at this point.
You know, the orange with the blue looks kind of weird.
Derek, again, if you're watching this and you want to send us stuff, it's awesome. But I think
No.
it's a little bit.
I don't like.
I think it's a little like if I tried to make a logo, this is what I would have made.
The free logo maker.
Right.
ad,
It doesn't give me like Ghost or First Form.
yeah. Like those are cool. This can doesn't look.
Yeah, it's kind of giving me almost like G Fuel can vibes.
Mhm.
A little bit nicer than G Fuel, a little bit more sturdy of a can. But it's not anything
Almost
crazy.
seems like a money grab type.
Now, one thing I've noticed with this drink, and we haven't had it yet, but it's very brain oriented.
Well, did you watch his breakdown?
I was doing homework, but I watched it, so it's good.
So like this energy drink,
He wants it
is-
to be like Adderall.
Yeah, like a lot of, energy drinks nowadays are really just caffeine based. They don't really have, they like a few vitamins in them, whatever. This has a lot of like focus ingredients, which a lot of energy drinks don't have, which I think is super interesting. And knowing Derek, like he actually, so like knowing him and like what he knows, I could almost guarantee that this is by far the best dosed energy drink probably on the market.
Probably.
Like I would be shocked if it wasn't at least top 3. So that's one thing that I'm looking forward to.
About to
Alpha
study
GPC is really good.
so hard after this.
Yeah, I mean a lot of the stuff's really good, and you are gonna feel a lot of the effects of this type of stuff. So yeah, it's cool. I'm
Should we get
excited
into
to
it?
try. Are you doing the red solo cup?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Handle it.
All right, I'll pour a little bit.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
All right,
Don't need to go.
one
crazy.
sip. You know the rules.
Ooh,
Okay.
That smells.
It smells nice. Wow.
What does this taste like?
Fanta.
It's Fanta.
Yep,
That is
that's
straight
it. Have you ever had a sugar-free Fanta?
Okay,
That's what this tastes like.
you guys are
I've
gonna.
never had sugar.
My rating's gonna.
This tastes exactly like sugar-free Fanta.
I say it's in the middle of sugar-free.
No, I think it's
Oh, I'm sorry.
exactly sugar-free.
You don't know what you're talking about.
This
That's
is
good.
nice.
Okay.
But the thing with this type of flavor is, though, I'm not drinking it when it's cold outside. In the summer, all day, orange flavor.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't like which it's summer now, which is fine. But when it's wintertime and it's cold, I'm not drinking an orange drink.
Okay, well, what are you going to drink?
Like an ice pop deal.
Oh.
In the winter?
Yeah.
Brother. You're drinking the
No,
most.
no,
most
I'm not.
summer
Orange
flavor.
reminds me of the summer.
You're like, you're going to eat ice cream during
Like, this is like, no, this like reminds me of summer. This
Honestly,
is nice. Like a Fanta, like.
I don't care what time of year it is. I'm going to drink this. All right.
do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go last. Noah, let's see what you think.
Ate 4 because I gave Seabones orange and ate 2. And it's a little bit better than that.
Wow.
And I like the bigger can.
That's a bigger can.
That's really good, though. I can already feel I'm focused.
I got to go to
Got a
the
laser.
I'm going to give it like a 8.6, I think, because literally just straight Fanta.
I like the Fanta.
Yeah.
What are the other flavors again?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
No idea.
Does
I
he
know
have
it's-
like a lemon lime that's like Sprite? Because that'd be cool.
Ooh.
Like the citrus one, like tastes like Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
The Prime tastes like Mountain Dew. This tastes like Fanta. Like
they had
does
the
he-
Sprite.
Yeah,
one.
like,
That
that'd
would
be
pretty
cool.
sick.
I know they
think
have
they
like
had some
a rocket
blue-
pop one, right? Or a blue raz maybe.
I thought they had a blue one.
Okay, so they've got orange,
I know that.
exotic kiwi,
I don't.
black cherry vanilla,
Oh,
I bet you that one's good.
Arctic white,
That's
Yeah, he
probably
said that one's like White Monster.
Okay.
He said it's hard to describe the flavor.
black cherry, Arctic white sound like
Yeah.
Black cherry sounds really good.
okay.
I love the black.
Are you
cherry
all
vanilla
ready?
Flavor.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you
one
about
of
to?
yours.
Is this top? No way. Is this your favorite?
9-3.
Wow.
This is
That's
like
I wasn't expecting you to
this
say
is
that.
up there with cherry limeade. Ghost.
No way.
What was your cherry limeade?
We haven't ranked it yet.
I know. I think he said his
No,
was
I'd
like
give it 9,
9.8. Just
Oh,
randomly.
I want to
said it.
wait to rank it on the show.
Well, we've already had it.
But I think we can still have drinks that we haven't had.
Cherry limeade's better than that, though. Right? Wow.
No
That-
way.
I'd say
Dude, this is coming from a man who's had 2, if not 3, cherry limeades in the same day for like powerlifting
I've only done
competition.
2.
Okay.
I would say, but I haven't had access
Wow.
to this. This is
You also have to think about rating it accessibility.
That is true.
if this is a 9-3, cherry limeade's a 9-6.
Okay.
Wow. No, another thing that kind of goes into my score. Like, I'd love that drink, but I may not be able to drink another one for a few months
That's
because
true.
I'm not going to order it online because of shipping. If it's not in Vitamin Shop and GNC,
And I thought
I'm not
I
going
was
to buy
the
it.
one.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard. Like, it's hard when even to try and like support brands like this because like I'm not going to pay $30 for the 12 case
It
plus
was
15 for shipping.
It's 4+ for the, because I think it was 12 pack for $51. So it was like
Like, that's
4.20.
insane. Like, that's crazy. And even when like Vitamin Shop runs these like deals now where ghosts every like once a month they're like $1.
Yeah.
Like,
That has not been once a month.
yes, it's in the past like 2 or 3 months
for
I've
like
had one.
specific brands.
Because I missed
Yeah.
it.
Oh, so is it?
Yeah.
Because I missed the Ghost one. That's
Yeah.
when I wasn't really into
And
Ghosts.
then they did
Yeah.
Prime.
And then I got
like,
into
right
Ghost.
before.
yeah, then they do like primes and like all this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I can buy a really good energy drink for $1 most times, and I'll stock up. Like, I still
can
have like
stock up.
6 primes in the fridge
Yeah.
to stock up on. I'm not gonna pay like
Because
$4.50.
realistically, I don't think Vitamin Shop's ever going to get those for a long time.
If I could
Yeah, because
easily,
their pre-workout's not even in there,
Yeah,
and
not-
the pre-workout's the
yeah,
best
not
selling
only
thing.
that, just the price. Like, they can't justify it.
Yeah.
if I could get this for $32, 34, reasonably
$32.30
for a 12 pack,
Okay.
like if I'd have to pay
Yeah,
all the
like
shipping,
$3.
this would be like a. If it was $2.50 to $3 a can, I'd buy a 12 pack once a month.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
crazy.
like
I
this.
didn't think you'd say a 9.3.
I have specific flavors like all
That's
right,
really good. I
It's
mean, I
really
like it.
good.
That's Fanta.
I did
this
like it.
week in training.
Oh yeah.
I finally have triples and not sets of 5 or 7. So pretty good week. I have a deadlift triple today, which will be interesting. It's tempo, but still it's a triple. And then I had tempo squats yesterday that were sets of 4. I did 485 tempo, 3 seconds down, 2-second pauses, 3 seconds up. Moved really well. It was supposed to be an 8.5. Did not feel it looked like an 8.5, but I got kind of nervous because I haven't had that heavy of weight on my back in a while, so I didn't want to like really push. So I have a deadlift triple, and then I have like a normal squat triple on Saturday, which will be really interesting. Also, I learned that Anna's competing in the morning, so I'm not going to have time to train.
That stinks.
In the morning, so I'm going to have to train. I may have to go to a commercial gym because also Marriott Barbell's closing on Saturday. They're redoing their deadlift platform.
Oh, is that? Yeah, it's closed in the afternoon, isn't it?
So that's going to suck. I don't know where I'm going to squat. I may go to the strength compound.
You could, I'm sure there's a bunch of local gyms around because it's it's around here. Yeah, never mind. I don't know
here. But yeah, so squats are going good. It's the first time I've had over 450 on my back in 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Felt good. It was easy.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have easily done 500, 510, somewhere in that range relatively easily.
That's ridiculous.
And then bench felt terrible. Got cupping done, and it was my fault and Matthew's fault. But I didn't know that on your traps, when you're cupping, if you go a little too far forward, you can pinch the skin and actually bruise it to where it's like a problem. So with the placement where the cups were, it kind of messed up my traps a little bit. It just hurts a little bit, which is fine. I mean, it'll take like 2 or 3 days to recover. But when I was, going down to arch, it was hurting really bad. And then on Saturday, I pulled 525 for 5 paused on deadlift. That was exciting. And
boy, are you gonna finish that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what just stuff like that. It's going good. I've been kind of training or swapping up my training styles, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Kind of my mental capabilities going into training, kind of how I deal with that. And some things I've learned about myself, but we will carry on to y'all's weekend training before we go to that.
I am 3 for 3 on calling sets on the podcast. I hit 500 for a triple on deadlift.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome. It was an 8. It was a good RPE 8.
Yeah.
The last one was a little slow because I had ripped a callus, so it was dropping out of my hand. I'm supposed to do it again tomorrow.
Nice.
That was awesome. Bench has been a little bit slower. I'm kind of like still going through this recovery thing. I thought I was going to go to PT today. I showed up to the office and he was like, "You're coming in tomorrow." And I was like, looks like I am. So I
was wondering why you left early and then came back. Because I heard you running around and I was like, why is Patty wasn't going to be here till like midday?
Yeah. And then I was like, well, that's embarrassing. But so I'm going tomorrow. Excited. We've been working through stuff and it's actually going to tie into what we're talking about later. So that's been good. Squats are also going to tie into what we're talking about later, but squats been good. I went back for 385 for a good couple sets yesterday and just try to like get out of my head, and I hit them. We trained at that new gym, the Georgia Strength Compound, which was pretty cool.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, had a big garage, so I was like,
I don't like change.
I know.
Yeah,
same
I
thing.
would hate change, like more than I do.
Like I hate it. Like I refuse to change shit or
But
stuff.
It has a nice garage open to it, so I was kind of like squatting.
My favorite thing about it.
Squatting with the breeze in my face.
It was literally, we were squatting. I mean, it was literally to a concrete wall.
You could see the trees.
Yeah, like there was trees and like the sun. You could feel a little bit of wind. And I'm there squatting. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So relaxing.
It was relaxing.
Yeah, which was a little awkward when I had singles, but yeah, it was nice.
How's your training?
Yeah, Drew has big news. Alert.
Training's did a full 180, flipped everything around. Just everything went into the fan.
Drew loves change. Bro changes all the time.
I'm still not mentally prepared for this, but what the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
Okay. Anyways.
If you know, you know.
If you know.
Drew's doing a meet.
Yeah. I'm doing a meet, and how far out am I? 4
3
days?
days? 4 days?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm 4 days out.
And
we just decided to do this.
yeah.
I have to have we decided I'm going to do Powerlifting America Nationals, so I'm kind of flipping a little bit here and there. But in order for me to do that, I put qualify total. So got lucky enough last second sign up for both Nationals and this meet Saturday. And yeah, so the complete 180 in training. We tested like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that was out the knowledge that I'd be doing this. So was it yesterday? I had 496 for a couple singles, and
On squat.
on squat, yeah. And I had 363 for a single, and what's it called? I think this weekend just gonna do kind of like casual meet, do like 90, 92.5%, just to get qualifying and solid numbers up there, keep CNS up. But then past that, it's 3 weeks out after that, June 2nd. Yeah. So,
Nationals.
no clue how training's gonna go from this point on. This was
That's
a,
crazy.
Because like you're
Yeah.
not really building a whole lot of strength. You're just like
it's a
you got. It's pretty unfortunate actually because you built a bunch of strength like after rehabbing your back.
yeah.
Then you come and you think you're gonna do CNATs, right? So you test. Then you get blue balled with CNATs and you don't do that. And so you have your test, and then next thing you know is, hey, next week we're doing a qualifying meet, which realistically you can do. You just need
I could do the bar.
empty bar.
Yeah.
And then it's 3 weeks later we have a new meet. So you don't really, since maybe like March, February, you haven't had like a good strength cycle.
Yeah, but also now, put it in my perspective. So I do Drew's nutrition, and he comes to me, I guess, yesterday or maybe even this morning, and I learned that he has to weigh 93 kilos, and we've been on this push to like get
I'm
to
on
like,
like 94 right
yeah, I know, but like now, like you have to
I'm
lose
sorry.
like 3 or 4 pounds.
So for
So
winter-
it's like, and we're 3 days out, and you're 4 pounds over.
I was only 2.5. 2.5.
Still.
And so the
So I gotta
reason-
go today and figure out what I gotta do with it. Because
So-
I had no idea.
The reasoning for the whole change, like what's going on, why I'm competing, is so one, I was trying to do 100 kilo for USAPL, which is what we were doing. And the reason I'm doing PA Nationals is I found out I have microscopic, it's incredibly small chance, but it's still a chance to qualify for junior IPF Worlds in the 93 kg weight class. Luckily, I've been weighing around 94, 95 lately. So we're going to try and go for that. So
So,
got to
yeah.
put up a total, a big enough total to qualify, and then hopefully get picked for the team. So yeah, that's why the immediate 180 turnaround of that. So
So yeah, that's rather interesting. So I got a lot of stuff I gotta do. It's finals week. Yeah. So I've got a
tired.
lot on our plate. We're doing a lot of stuff.
so
Very
tired.
stressful.
yeah, weekend
But-
training.
One thing I kind of wanted to talk about, kind of doing once again another complete 180. So a lot of people in our realm, in the whole powerlifting realm, a lot of us are known to have a lot of mental problems, a lot of mental issues that we deal with a lot. I know from the three of us, we all have things that we deal with. Everyone deals with different stuff differently. A lot of people that go to the gym go because something happened, and like that's like an outlet. Like instead of drinking, smoking, we go to the gym. Instead of like doing car stuff, we go to the gym, like that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
Everybody's gone out.
And within the past like probably 2 months, for me it's been really difficult, and I've been trying to understand kind of why the gym was not helping as much as it used to within my mental health, as also like just kind of like with powerlifting in and of itself. And I think a lot of people struggle with the whole mental health, especially in powerlifting, because a lot of people are putting themselves in situations like a life or death situation day in and day out, heavy lifting, doing this type of stuff. And the past 3 or 4 days, I tried to like find what was causing these like complications within my life. And like I've talked to a few people about it, one of them being Edie, my girlfriend. And we sat down and we're like, I'm always tired. Like I felt terrible all the time. I'd be super tired. Did not like, I'd like talk to y'all. It'd be great.
Yeah.
But then I'd go in my room and just like lights out. Like I'm exhausted all the time at work. I felt terrible. And one of the things, I'll kind of go off on a little spiel here, is I feel like I can't, like during COVID, it was all online, didn't have any social interaction, lived by myself for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And now being at, like, I've been blessed to where I've got to know y'all, and I'm constantly like mentally stimulated to where I'm always going out, hanging out with people, like going to dinner, going to the gym, talking to all these people all the time. And I'm not as used to like being by myself as much. So like I've kind of changed a lot mentally in that aspect. And for me, it's been like super like emotionally draining. Just like I love it, but it's just
Yeah.
a swap up for me, and it's been completely different. But I was trying to figure out why some of these things were happening, like why I was always so tired, why I was always like, I would just go to Edie's place and like just complain and be like, I am exhausted, and it's frustrating because like being tired, it's not like you can just like push that stuff out. Like you're just mentally drained all the time. And one of the things that I found was whenever I'd go to the gym, I'm always listening to music that's like death music. Like I put myself in situations in my head to where I have to almost act like Edie's under a car, my family's under a car to like lift this weight, and I put myself in that mental instability so often that one thing that I've learned within this past week is when I'm going to the gym, I'm trying to go at it differently than I was even last week. So like I'm changing up the music that I listen to. And Matthew, I'm not going to tell your story at all, but it was interesting because last night he said like the same thing on one of his Instagram stories. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like almost to a T of what I've been trying to like figure out and what I've been doing. And I'm going into the gym without that whole, like it's really mentally draining to put yourself in situations like a lot of us powerlifters do all the time for stuff that's not really needed. Like I'd be doing tempo deadlifts and I'm like, Edie's under this deadlift bar. Like I have to pick it up or she's going to die.
Yeah.
Like
That's so sweet.
doing that for multiple sets, multiple rounds, all the music I listen to was like all this stuff, like that is so mentally draining. And using these like quote unquote demons to fight like all the time, you're constantly bringing that stuff back up. And for me, I found myself, even when I wasn't in the gym, I would continuously be in that mindset and in that mood of like, my mind was always firing because I'm like, I have to be doing this to like, get ready to deadlift for sets of 5 tempo. Like it's like not stupid, but you have to know. One thing I'm trying to learn is knowing when to stop and when it's not benefiting me. I went into the gym yesterday in the past 2 days and only have listened to Taylor Swift. Only. And I went to her concert on Friday night, whatever. Not a Taylor Swift fan, but I'm trying to like get my mindset to where I can do what I need to do and not have to be in a life or death situation. So then when I do compete, I can put myself in that mental situation and be better. And like, I think one of the reasons like at States, like I wigged out and I took like 2 or 3 days to like really kind of like, I was kind of messed up for like 2 or 3 days. And it was because all of that, it was so mentally draining, the prep leading up to it. And then the day of, every single thing, it was like, if I don't succeed, like people are going to die. And then when I did not do what I needed to do, it was just like, what if I die? Like, then it's like, well, did I just like all this stuff and all these situations in my head of stuff that's just not healthy to think about and stuff that's just like terrible, terrible, terrible things that you think of just to like lift this weight when in reality, the weight is going to be the same weight. 500 pounds is always going to be 500 pounds. You like, for me, at least I reached a point where I couldn't handle where my mind was taking me these times. And I know different people can do it for different time periods, but one thing in the powerlifting realm that I think a lot of people don't talk about is how messed up a lot of us are and how mentally draining it can be to put ourselves in these situations. So like one thing I'm trying to work on, I'm listening to lighter music in the gym. I'm trying to not think about situations that involve terrible things. I'm trying to not do that type of stuff. And for me, it's helping me out a lot. I don't feel like I would wake up in the middle of the night and have like these nightmares about stuff that I've been dreaming of or like thinking of. And it's just like my mind was always on like this constant battle of I need to like think this way for me to be successful in this sport when I don't think in reality it is. And I know a lot of people do. And that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up for anyone out there listening. Like, it's okay to think like that sometimes, but I don't think you need to put yourself in that mental place all the time, because then you spiral out of control and get to where you're there all the time and can't get it back under control. And of course, it's not going to solve itself in a week. Like, I'm still, figuring stuff out, but I think smaller steps and trying to figure yourself out and try and put yourself in a situation like that, I think it just takes a lot of mental fortitude, and you just have to know when to kind of draw the line and know that it's affecting my relationships, it's affecting my friends. Like when I left Crumble really abruptly, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, like that was why, like I was like, I don't want to be here anymore, because I'm just like, all these thoughts of like, what if someone just came and just killed all of us? Like, it's like stuff like that I'm like, I can't think about that. So I had to come home and like decompress and like figure my stuff out. But it's kind of like, and it's very interesting. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, because I think it's very similar. It's not as, the same thing, of course, but I think they're similar, as if like, instead of trying to like fight demons all the time and bring demons that don't even exist,
Right.
and you make them up. Like, you put yourself in these situations that are like I said, my family's under a car, and if I don't pick this weight up, like I have to do, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, my God, it's so mentally draining, and it's so terrible, because like my brain was always firing. I'm always tired. I'm like, with eating, I'm like, Edie, like I feel terrible. Like I feel like I'm sick, like all the time. Like it's like, I just don't feel right. And you think, like I was like, oh, going to the gym like solves that. When in reality, what I'm finding out is the gym was the root of that. And now I'm having to figure out how I can control that aspect of my mind and that aspect of the gym.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what my little journey the past like month, just trying to like figure it out. And once again, I'm not saying that it's solved in a month, because it's not. Like, mental stuff takes, sometimes you just have to learn how to deal with it, but you can help yourself, and you can realize that things can make a change, and you can change yourself and your attitude towards life. And I can just say the past, like even like 5 days, like I've felt a lot better. I'm like, my sleep feel better. Like I don't feel like I'm drained and exhausted all the time. Like I feel like I'm just like in a better place, and I'm still lifting really well. Like I went in super calm and collected yesterday. I wasn't yelling, grunting, like freaking out. Like I just did what I had to do, and that's that. Like there's definitely a time and a place to like, yell and all this stuff. But when I'm doing tempo squats, just get the weight done, like get it
Right.
done. Like there's no need for me to be screaming and yelling, all this stuff. And I think that, that's one thing that I've learned. But I know everyone's different. You can train differently. You can train how you want to train. Some people are loud. Some people are quiet. Some people put themselves in a situation. Some people don't. But just for me personally, that's what I found has helped me. And that's some of the causes of the emotional, mental problems that I was having. So yeah.
Dude, thank you for sharing.
I could talk about that for a while, but
That was
that's
deep.
like
I liked that.
basic kind of spiel of where I'm at, what I'm doing to hopefully fix that, and what, if anyone out there, which I know there's thousands of people that have the same issues that we all have, just different variations, but like can help in those aspects of your life. Like just because you go to the gym doesn't mean your mental is going to be better. yes, it can help, but like you need to know how to control that too. You can't just like ignore it and think that everything's okay when it's not, because then it'll catch up and you'll spiral out of control. And then when you can't get control of it is when real issues start. And that's when, you know, you start cutting people off, you start doing all this stuff where it's not rational, it doesn't make sense, and like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
For me. And that's what I've learned in the past month or so when I've been like trying to figure out a little bit of, you know, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's kind of around that. Still working progress, but it's getting better and I'm excited. And it's something I don't talk about a lot. I'm super like, oh, I'm happy, like all this stuff. But like, you know, everyone has their problems. Everyone deals with stuff. Everyone deals with them in different ways. But yeah, not everyone's perfect. The people that laugh are also sad too sometimes. So, you know, everyone deals with different stuff. So now I'll let you, because it's very interesting, because I saw your story last night and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane.
I think
like,
we're
it's
back.
very
What's your
similar.
story?
I think we're back on the cycle.
Yeah.
Which cycle? Which we start next. So Noah and I have this joke. Well, it's not really a joke.
No, it's kind of a real thing.
Men go through hormonal cycles. Obviously, we don't have periods, but we have our cycles. And mind you, Noah and I share a bathroom. We go to bed at like the same time. We wake up at the same time.
We have a lot of the same.
We work out.
Yeah.
Relative, like, and so I think living together for the past 8 or 9 months, our cycles have kind of synced
We're
up.
low key in sync.
Yeah, like the other day, you know, this song from TikTok is blowing up. It's the what's it called? Cupid by 50/50. And it's like, I'm feeling lonely. Randomly, the other day, Noah and I,
We were sitting in the living room.
out of pocket, both start going like at the same time, start singing the song.
Drew was there. Drew
Yeah.
saw it. It was like,
I was so lost and
And we're like, what is happening?
and then one morning, I went to Quick Trip.
This
I was
is
with
crazy.
Edie. I was not even in Kennesaw. I went to Quick Trip, and I never buy 2 energy drinks at a time. But Matthew put me on of Ghost. Do you mind 2 for $5 at Quick Trip? So I went to Quick Trip and bought a citrus and a cherry limeade. And I also never like send y'all when I buy stuff like pictures of what I buy, but I sent it to the group chat. Just like happened to send, and I was like, "Boys, look what I got this morning."
And literally within 2 minutes. So I like to walk. I had walked to Quick Trip and I bought the same 2 ghosts.
Same too.
He sent that, and I was like,
Within like 5-10 minutes
and I was
of
like,
us
are
buying.
you effing serious? Like, is this a joke? And he goes, why? I send the same 2. And like, we were doing the same. Like, that was
So
just
weird.
crazy.
Very interesting.
So this is wild.
It's super
we're going
weird,
through this
yeah.
at the same time. So I'll be open here. This is the open session. Drew, you're next.
I'm scared.
I'm not doing this.
But
No.
so I just went through a breakup a couple weeks ago, and that's been a lot. I broke up with her, and that was my first breakup. And thankfully, they were there for me and my family. So shout out
Naturally.
everyone in my pocket.
Only 24 hours.
But yeah, this guy, I come home crying. Drew's like, "You got 24 hours. No more like sulking after that." And I was like, "Okay." My mom disagrees with me. But so yeah, and that's been like a lot. And through that journey, I'm also like, I'm lifting, and I'm a very emotional person. And I realized, and I talked about this on one of the last podcasts, but Becky made me think about it too. Was like, my recovery is very mental. You know, it's very based on like, how am I doing? You know, when things were going good, whether it be life or in that relationship, lifting would be good. Or if things had maybe taken a turn, lifting would kind of correspond with that. I also go to counseling. And one of the things I'm a big proponent of is like, your body will hold the score. Like, your body will remember the pain and the tension, and it will be tight in certain spots. And I think sometimes it is a muscular pain, but I think sometimes it's an emotional like ache. And, you know, whether that can be like, I don't know, something from childhood, something from recent times, like there are times where I think you're in pain because of an emotional reason. And, you know, I've been going to this PT, and there's this kind of like nodule on my neck. And he is like, there's 2 reasons that gets tight, and it's been referring down. And I was like, why is it getting tight? He goes, you're either dehydrated, which we both laughed because we know I'm not dehydrated. And he said the second one is because of like an emotional trauma. And I was like, ding, 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 I think we found a winner. And, you know, I've kind of realized this, and, you know, I think maybe like with just going throughout life, I've been able to figure it out with like coping mechanisms and counseling, but I've noticed it's like really steeped into my lifting. And you know, it's also like we're in a sport with powerlifting, like where we do bring ourselves to that place. Like going after a breakup, I think everyone I talked to was like, dude, you're your nightmare fuel demon mode. Like that's funny to joke about, but like there were a few sessions where I kind of came in wanting to use hate, wanting to use rage to fuel me. And like, that's when I failed that fifth rep multiple times. Like I came in crying on the barbell. And, you know, one thing I said this morning was like, when I walk up is like, am I letting the bar define me or am I defined before I walk up to the bar? You know, for me, I'm a Christian, a Christ follower, and like, that's who I define myself as. But I'm like, am I letting this weight, you know, 385 is always going to be 385, define me? And am I going to let that control me? Or am I going to walk up confident enough to know that like I am able to do this? And I, you know, because like what I've been doing on squats is I've been like bunching my toes, and that's causing my knees to cave, and that's causing me to lose like balance. And this is crazy. I'm talking this morning to my counselor, and we're going through stuff, and I kind of retract, and I realize when I retract, I bunched my toes. And I realize like I'm scared when I'm squatting, and there's like personal stuff I'm scared of, but also like I failed a squat at a meet due to knee valgus. So I'm going through that every time, and I get scared. And so that's been affecting me. And yeah, so like a couple weeks, you know, post breakup and stuff, like I'm trying to use this nightmare fuel and stuff like that, but it's just not working. And I realized, I just kind of felt this calling, like I need to kind of listen to like worship music. And so I'm listening to like, a couple of songs that I really have enjoyed going into my sets. And I'm just giving it to the Lord, but I'm also just becoming mindful, and I'm not worried about, you know what, like training isn't linear. My numbers don't have to go up every day. And with time they will. And so I think it's crazy that like we're kind of going through that together in a way of like, I'm going to the gym. Yesterday I'm squatting, and like I got my worship music on, and I'm just like trying to be peaceful, because like that place is a dangerous place. And I think it's really cool.
Get trapped.
Right. Like I'll listen to some of my favorite people trapped, exactly. But like, yeah, on meet day, I think once or twice a year, it's okay to take yourself to that place. Like, studies will show adrenaline can do some crazy things. 120-pound mom should not be able to lift a car, but she has. But doing that for, again, deficit deadlifts, like I don't need to be doing that. And so I think it's been this kind of cool thing. And like you said, like it's taking time, and I'm realizing it. And I think it all kind of comes together, you know, more important for the betterment of myself, not just my lifting, but of course lifting takes a part of that, where I'm kind of just learning like, yeah, like going into a session angry, I'm going to have a bad session. And so, yeah, it's a process. It's hard, but like, you know, we've got great community and people in our lives that have been helping. So that's been cool. But yeah, it's interesting that we're kind of both working through that. Because it's crazy, and it's not talked about enough. And I know
that's
like
one of the reasons why I wanted to bring
a lot of powerlifters, a lot of people that like I'm really close with, like we'll go to the gym and we'll have these sessions, and like we're angry, and like you can tell, like I think part of it is like being a powerlifter, you want to be a sprint. You want to get as tight as possible in terms of bracing and breathing, and to get that weight back up. Because if you're not tight, you'll lose. And I think a lot of what we do is we let tightness from like emotional trauma be confused with tightness of like being in a good place and being able to bring that. And so then you have this thing where you're like, oh, I'm great. Well, actually, no, like my back is really tight. And that's like, okay, let me go deeper into that. You know, let me roll it out. It's not working. Why? Versus, okay, let me take a brace. Let me be fully conscious of my breath. And that's like, I think the correct spring. But when something is slightly off, you start to shift, your butt goes up. I mean, obviously there's science and there's form, but I think the emotional aspect plays a huge role in it.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up. It's like, you know, I know a lot of people in the powerlifting realm that are like super like, you know, dark, and like, you know, you got to put yourself in. I've always been like a super happy person. But like within like, especially the last like 3 years, I've just had a lot of ups and downs and stuff. But like when you're constantly putting yourself in that mental state, you know, like you said, like it's like it gets to the point where you're trapped there and you can't get out, and you don't know, your mind doesn't know how to dissociate itself from when it's a life or death situation and when first off, when it's a life or death situation, whether you're making it up or not, and how to get out of it when it's not a real situation.
Right.
And like you said, 1 or 2 times a year, 3 times a year when you're competing, yes. Like
Dig deep.
to do that, to compete, it takes that. Like you can't be, all this. If you want to take it seriously, you can't be soft and like do all this stuff when you're competing. But during training, I think doing that day in and day out, I don't care how strong mentally you are, you will reach a breaking point. No one is meant to do that for years and years and years. You will like end up failing mentally because of putting yourself in that situation. You can't expect to help yourself and get out of these emotional traumas if you're constantly putting yourself in them. And that's what like with the breakup, a lot of people have been through pretty traumatic breakups. I'm in a happy relationship right now. No, but like a lot of people like go through those, and you can't get over that and move on if you think about it all the time. You have to learn how to accept what has happened.
Yeah.
That didn't work out. It's for the best. I believe that, something better is coming. You can't bring it up in your mind all the time because you're never going to get over it. When someone who actually is meant to be in your life is there, you're still going to be thinking about that person because of that.
That's
like,
hard.
You can't, yeah, it's terrible. And like people put themselves in these situations all the time, and they think it's for the better of themselves. Like, oh, I'll be a little bit stronger. When in reality, I hit something yesterday that I had no idea I was going to hit. I was completely calm about it. I literally was listening to Taylor Swift while I had damn near almost 500 pounds on my back, tempo squat. Like, I'm trying, and not just to, like, I'm just using her as an example, but like,
No,
just
if you want to defeat mental health, you have to listen to the 3-Hour Eras playlist.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, we'll drop that in the file.
Exactly. But like, I mean, just, and not necessarily that you have to listen to like jolly Christmas BS or whatever, but like like one thing is I listened to songs that were really dark, like really depressing, like terrible songs. Like for me, that was a trigger. But I would listen to the songs all the time. I wouldn't just listen to them in the gym. Like my genre of choice was that type of music. Like even when I'm studying, when I'm sitting in my room, taking a shower, all of this stuff is like, I'm always listening to that type of music. So then my brain doesn't know when, like, for me, I feel like I'm really good at, my body has cues. So like whenever I have like 300 milligrams plus of caffeine, my body's like, okay, let's go to the gym. Like I'm ready. Yeah. When I listened to that music, my body was like, okay, I'm ready to lift. Like I'm ready to kill. I don't need to be thinking of that in my room.
Yeah.
Or in the shower. Like I don't need to be thinking like that. So I think trying to just like control your mind and be able to relax your mind while still being serious about it, I think that's very difficult to do. I think there's very few people that actually are like mastered it. Like me and you have not even came close to even mastering that. But I think that over the years and over progression, I think you can get a lot better and you can learn your mind more and actually figure out different cues that cause you to go into these spirals, cause you to go into these depressions.
Right.
And I think not that like everyone can be fixed like just like that, but I think a lot of people can help themselves. And I feel like a lot of people don't in that aspect. But once again, it's up to y'all. If you like where you're at, go for it. But
and this episode was brought to you by BetterHelp. That's a joke. No,
but I mean, it is like a
real.
serious thing. It's a real thing. And I don't think a lot of people, especially a male-dominated sport, a lot of people don't like to talk about mental health. It's super important. I mean, I've lost friends to suicide. I don't want anyone to like ever, like, I hate it. Like, it's the worst thing possible on this earth is for people to do that. And it makes me really sad that people think that that's like their last option or the only option. When in reality, reach out. I don't care if you've never like talked to people like that before, reach out. I'd rather be on the phone with someone 8 hours than have that phone call or something like that. But it is a super serious thing, and a lot of males especially, I mean, females do too, but a lot of guys think that like, can't talk about mental health. I don't have mental health problems. I don't believe in that. And you can't ignore these things for a long time, because then, like I said, you spiral out of control and you start doing irrational things that you shouldn't be partaking in. And like, I've been there before. Like, a lot of people have been there before and they've been able to get out of that. But it's just like, it's preventable if you can see some of the warning signs in yourself and really attempt to want to get better and want to be better, for yourself, for your future self, and even like your childhood self looking up to you. That's one thing that I've always been really big at, is like, when I'm thinking of stuff like that, like, what would 6-year-old Noah look at me right now? Like, what would he think that I'm doing right now? Like, if he was watching, like, what would I do differently? And that's just something, I don't, that could be weird to a lot of people, but for me, it's something that helped a lot. You know, think about your 6-year-old self sitting across the chair, sitting across the table. What would they think of what you're about to do and stuff like that? So I think it's possible to live a lot healthier of a lifestyle. And I don't think you need to be this whole, I fight demons, I hate everything, I want to kill everything. Like I said, time and place, but I think a lot of people let it spiral out of control, and then it gets to the point where you can't control it. And once you get into that spiral, it's incredibly difficult to get out.
Right. Also, like, lifting is supposed to be fun.
Exactly.
Like,
a lot of people think, yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of our transitions occurred. It's like, I've taken powerlifting to like, I have to hit this total by this time to make it to this meet and everything. And like, that's great. I love those goals and I'm super into it, but also I want to just enjoy this, you know?
Yeah, it's
like,
fun.
This is a great time. I've met some of the best people in my life.
Oh, yeah.
I can't let goals take me to depression.
I mean, you're only 20, 21 in this age group once.
Right.
You got one time to like have fun and like do this stuff. And I know a lot of people have different like viewpoints, and that's fine. Like, you do you, whatever. But for me, it's just like, dude, I don't want to be 40 and be like, watch my kids go into this and be like, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to have fun and like in different ways. Like, and another thing, a lot of people have fun and they go out and drink, parties, moment with stuff. For me, fun is like, let's go to ABV Saturday night and like deadlift or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like,
or like,
those are the core memories.
Crumble.
Like, those are the core. I just got chill bumps thinking about it. Those are the core memories that I'm like, when I'm have a child, I'm like, I hope you do that.
Right.
Like, go out, go sit in the parking lot until midnight and talk.
Yeah.
People, talk to your friends. Like, go.
Or just like, dude, when it's the three of us at night and like, I'm like, it's 9:30, I want to start going to bed. Next thing I know, it's like 12 and we're talking about God knows what. But I'm like, yeah, that was worth it because that was so much fun.
Like, those are the moments that I
cherish.
Now find more, I find more joy in, and that type of stuff for sure. I enjoy, you know, like I said, talking to y'all until midnight, or you know, talking
like cupping you guys. That was
funny. Or like when Drew made gummy bears at like 1 a.m.
I'll never forget. That was like week
That was the
3.
worst thing ever.
I literally didn't even know y'all, bro. I was like, what in the world are y'all doing?
I bought like a gallon of gelatin, trying to make pre-workout gummy bears.
It was literally like midnight.
It did not work out.
It was so funny. Like, I have Snapchat memories of that. Oh my god,
they were in our
so
fridge for
funny.
like 5 months.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're gummy. They never went bad, especially in the fridge. Yeah, that was terrible. That was really funny. But like stuff like that.
So yeah,
I find a lot of joy and reminiscing of stuff like that. And I hope to make more memories like that. But yeah, don't be so serious all the time. It's
have
okay.
fun.
It's okay to have fun. We're young. A lot of us are young. I don't really know any like. It's not like we're all 80 years old. Stefan, yeah, if you're watching this, you are old. But bro's like 85.
Man.
Bro has great.
Don't you work with him at the estates?
Yeah, he lives at the retirement home I work at.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's my little spill. If we want to talk about more things, we can. 100%.
I think that's
But I needed to get that off my chest to the 5 people that watch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Becky, Eli, Alex,
My mom and dad.
your mom and dad,
Logan.
us
Yeah.
3, Logan. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. You
But
got
yeah.
anything else?
Hmm?
You got anything else?
No,
Here.
no, really.
I'm good.
All right,
That was
guys.
a good podcast.
Thanks for watching. Mental health is important, so don't skip
Very
over it.
That's another recovery thing.
Mental health is probably the biggest recovery. Mental health and sleep.
Yep.
So yeah,
Definitely.
thanks for tuning in. We
Yeah.
upload Wednesdays at 3, Saturdays at 10 in the morning, and
We've been good about it recently.
we have, yeah. We can find us at the T25 podcast on Spotify. Hopefully iTunes soon. Working on that. You know, you can find us on YouTube. I did the last YouTube with AI, so I hope you guys like that.
Yeah.
This is at Noah Ray Lifts on Instagram. This is the Berserker, and I am out 82.5. So guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.